The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
United Airlines continues to expand its marketing efforts in the Asia-Pacific region, a critical market for the carrier. We spoke recently with United's Senior Vice President for Worldwide Sales, Doreen Burse, who says UAL has been investing heavily in the region as it sees tremendous growth potential. She says United has expanded its network, added new flights, and improved onboard and ground services to cater to the unique needs and preferences of the diverse customer base. She says Guam plays a big part in their overall strategy. Burse was here to help celebrate United's 55th anniversary of service to Guam and Micronesia. Coming up, our conversation with the United Airlines executive. Good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Hub. I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for joining us. Our guest this week is Doreen Burse, who is the Senior Vice President for Worldwide Sales for United Airlines. Welcome to the show, Doreen.
Yep, thank you. It's great to be here, Nestor.
Let's just start off, and then let me just ask you to tell us a little bit about your background and experience in the airline industry.
Sure. Thanks for asking that question, and thanks again for having me. So I joined United Airlines about 2 years ago. I had spent 30 years on the lodging side of the business with Marriott International. So yes, I joined an airline in the middle of the pandemic when not a lot of people were traveling, but I was a big fan of United's. I traveled them literally weekly in my past role, and just love everything about the travel and tourism industry, and was really excited about joining a world-class sales team that I knew fairly well from my previous role.
All right. And so what brings you to Guam?
So I'm really excited to be here in Guam because we're celebrating our 55-year anniversary as the hometown airline. It has been amazing to meet with our loyal customers and our business partners, and of course to celebrate with our employees our long service here for the past 55 years. We actually hosted an anniversary celebration last evening. We had several of our loyal clients, agency partners, tour operators, and the like here. In fact, I got to meet the governor. She was with us here, as well as folks from the Guam Airport Authority and others. And it was a great opportunity to say thank you for their support. Just a real appreciation for the partnership we have with everyone that's involved in the industry and the way we do business here.
Yeah. As the VP of Worldwide Sales, tell us a little bit about your sales and promotion of Guam overseas.
Well, so thank you for asking that. We have a dedicated sales team in Japan that is focused on promoting Guam and Micronesia and really making sure that the destination and the access to the destination and destinations overall through our airline is readily accessible to folks. There's multiple ways they do this. These are folks that have a very strong positive relationship both inside and outside of the marketplace.
Yeah, obviously United Airlines is not just it's a US based airline, but it's a global airline. How does Guam fit into the picture?
Well, Guam is a very important hub for United Airlines, certainly an important hub here in the Pacific. Through Guam and our flights into Japan and with our code share partners, we really provide a lot of access to other markets in the region. And so we've been here 55 years and are really dedicated to Guam. In fact, never stopped serving Guam throughout the pandemic. In fact, we had the island hopper with supplies and in cargo and necessary materials into the marketplace, and have continued to do so. In fact, we as of mid-summer, we will be at 2019 capacity levels. So in and out of Japan, so serving Nagoya, Narita, Osaka, and Fukuoka as well. And so really excited about that. We did a town hall at our hangar today with a lot of our employees. They were very excited about the capacity, and we talked a lot about United Next and the order of those 700 aircraft, right? So we'll be taking an aircraft possession of an aircraft 2 a week every week this year, and it'll be 3 a week next year as well. And so what was great is we were meeting with our airline maintenance technicians who can really tell you what it takes to actually bring an airport into the operation and get that ready for service.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about United Next a little bit later, but just sticking with the Guam picture, that's great to hear that we're approaching 2019 levels, because in 2019, I remember we were at record tourism here in Guam. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, we're excited about having the capacity to bring those travelers in.
Yeah, and is there going to be any change into the equipment that's going to be used, or the frequency of flights? What are you projecting heading into the coming year?
So with the lifting of the quarantine restrictions on May 8th, and then the vaccine requirements on May 11th, it really, so we've seen a quick spike in demand as far as travel goes overall. No immediate changes to the equipment and the routes right now, where as of middle of the summer, we'll be at that, we'll be back at the full route schedule, and we're going to continue to monitor. We're going to monitor demand. We're going to see what that does to the overall load factors, and we'll manage it from there. But no immediate changes, but we're really excited about having that capacity back in the middle of the summertime.
I remember during the pandemic, everyone was talking about, it's just as soon as this is over, there's going to be a huge appetite for people to travel. And you're seeing that start to come about slowly but surely?
Well, we're seeing that overall, in particular as it relates to tourism. And then, of course, we're the largest domestic carrier trans-Pacific as well as transatlantically. There's a lot of pent-up demand for that travel overall. Business travel is probably about 80% recovered overall, but we're seeing really strong demand. It hasn't let up, and we remain very optimistic. And of course, we feel United is strongly positioned to really take that demand and service the needs of our passengers.
All right, we're talking with Doreen Burse, who is the Vice President of Worldwide Sales for United Airlines. We've got to take a short break, but we'll be back with more of our conversation right after this. All right, and we're back with Doreen Burse, who is the Vice President of Worldwide Sales for United Airlines. And Doreen, before the break, we were talking, you had mentioned about United Next strategy. Tell us what that is.
So thanks for asking that question. So United Next is, we made an announcement that we have placed an order for up to 700 aircraft. We'll take possession of them over the next 10 years. So what that means is we'll receive 2 aircraft every week for the rest of this year, and it'll move up to 3 aircraft per week going into 2024 and beyond. And so we'll have more premium cabin space than our next 2 nearest competitors combined. So lots of opportunity based on how you want to travel and what your budget may be to get where you need to go on United Airlines. In many cases, that aircraft is going to replace some of those regional jets that we have in other markets, but it's going to really positively impact the travel experience overall. So things like seatback entertainment in every seat, and my favorite, Bluetooth technology, so you can connect your earbuds, overhead bin space that you can turn your luggage over on the side, so room for everyone's bag. Even things like Braille on the bins, so for the visually impaired. I think one of the things that we're also very excited about is these will be aircraft that will be much more fuel efficient. And so our commitment to be carbon neutral by the year 2050 is greatly impacted by these fuel efficient aircraft that we're taking possession of as well. When we did our event in that hangar early on today, I mean, the employees are just really excited about that. And it's a real statement about our commitment to the future and that we're here for the long term. And we're really just super excited about it. I have to admit, it helps tie up those aircraft. It'll be very hard for another airline to actually be able to get aircraft themselves. And so I think the most any other airline has ever taken on as far as new aircraft is 50 per year. So we'll do 100 this year. It'll be 150 in 2024. And so very assertive goals, but we're just really excited about being able to serve all of our passengers really well with these with new aircraft that are more fuel efficient, but also offer a very positive travel experience overall.
Yeah, I was going to say that 700 planes in the next 10, 20, 15 years that's quite optimistic. I mean, that's very aggressive.
Yeah, a great foresight by our leaders, and again, a real commitment to our future.
And talk a little bit more about the energy conservation, that impact, because I know prior to this even that was already on United's plan to make it more energy efficient.
Yeah, so of course we mentioned that we have a goal of being carbon neutral by the year 2050, and in fact we have an interim goal to reduce our carbon intensity by 50% by the year 2035. Airlines are a hard to abate industry. The fastest way to reduce our carbon output is through sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF. Most people are surprised sometimes to learn that United has been involved in sustainable aviation fuel for over a decade. In fact, we are the first airline that has flown a 100% sustainable aviation fuel aircraft, right, to show that it can be done, right, because it'll reduce our emissions by up to 85%. So United has been focused on scaling up the production of SAF. We've made a number of investments. In fact, we have made more investments and commitments to purchase SAF than any other airline. I think we're at about 70% of the overall commitments for SAF. Today, actually since 2016, out of Los Angeles, every one of our outbound flights are fueled in part by SAF. We announced actually recently that we now have SAF that will fuel our planes out of San Francisco. In 2022, we announced our operations in Amsterdam, and I think London is on the horizon. But we're very focused on sustainable aviation fuel. In fact, our CEO, Scott Kirby, had a seat at the table on the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act, which offers credits to SAF producers. The fastest way to, again, promote SAF production is to make it affordable and to help be a part of the ecosystem to get more SAF produced. I would mention too, though, that we're not just focused on SAF. There's not enough of it today. We're still laser focused on that, but we have United Airlines Ventures that is focused on investing in new and emerging technologies that can impact the environment. So things like carbon sequestration or electric or hydrogen planes and taxis. And so we stay committed and focused on that, and you'll continue to hear more about that work as well. I would be remiss not to mention our Chief Trash Officer, Oscar the Grouch. I thought it was a really unique way. We thought it was a unique way to educate the general public about sustainable aviation fuel and how you can take something like trash and turn it into something that is really good for the environment. And so it's generated a lot of interest and excitement. And actually, through the booking path, if you're a consumer, you can actually contribute to our sustainable fund and help be a part of the kinds of things that will help reduce emissions and really promote will actually be good for the planet.
All right, getting back to all these planes that you guys are going to be buying, so you're going to need passengers. So where's this growth potential going to come from?
So we're seeing a lot of potential, of course, in the tourism and the leisure industry. We're continuing, even though business travel is not at 2019 levels, it is getting closer to that. We anticipate by 2024 and beyond, it will be there. And we are making it very easy for folks to want to book. We know that being where travelers want to go, by providing the capacity to get them there, by being responsible in our communities and where we do business, and a whole host of other things will continue to make United Airlines a great airline choice for travelers, no matter what segment of business you're in, whether you're an individual traveler traveling to see families or traveling for business. you can feel good about the fact that we're a responsible airline. We are making good on our promise to do good in our communities and continue to communicate what those things are. So we're very optimistic that, from those travelers.
All right, we're going to take one last break, Doreen, but we'll be back to continue the show in just a moment. Please stay with us. All right, we are back with Doreen Burse, who is the Senior Vice President for Worldwide Sales for United Airlines. Doreen, wanted to talk a little bit more about the Guam market, and I guess there's some 4 cities into Japan that United serves.
Yes, we're really excited that as of the middle of this summer, we'll be back to our 2019 or really pre-pandemic route schedule. So serving 4 cities, Nagoya, Narita, Osaka, and Fukuoka as well. And so just really excited about that. I think I was mentioning earlier, we were at a town hall with all of our employees across multiple aspects of the airline, and just really excited about having that capacity and the ability to serve.
So you mentioned earlier about Japan opening up its borders. Talk a little bit more about that and how that's going to impact travel in between Guam and Japan.
Yes, well, so of course, with the lifting of the quarantine restrictions in early May, followed by the lifting of the vaccine requirements by the U.S., we've really seen a spike in demand, and just pent-up demand has always been there. But when we look at forward-looking bookings between Japan and other markets, and in Guam, it's been very positive, and so we're really excited about that. We're out in front of it with our industry partners, our tour operators, and others with different promotions and different communications to really, share the ways they can get there on United, and of course the beautiful attributes of each of those destinations as well.
Yeah, wanted to talk a little bit more about Guam's viability as a destination, especially in the midst of all this very stiff competition in the Asia Pacific area.
Yeah, so we were actually talking about this as a team a little bit earlier, and that even if you look at the demographics and who travels to Guam, it used to be primarily families, but we're seeing lots of different kinds of travelers that are really interested and excited in Guam. So young folks, we have different influencers that have been here, weddings and honeymoons and the like. And so it's a beautiful destination with, there's over 9,000, you get to fly into the airport, there's 9,000 hotels not that far away, beautiful beaches, and just warm, welcoming people, fabulous food, and then some. And so it's been really wonderful to be here, about what they're seeing. And so lots of great reasons to come to Guam, and lots of welcoming people to, receive them very well.
Yeah, you obviously have the experience in the airline industry, but also in the hospitality industry and dental, the hotel industry. I'm wondering if you had some suggestions on how Guam can market itself. How can it distinguish itself from other destinations in the Asia Pacific region?
I think Guam is already doing an amazing job. We have folks that are actually part of a few task groups that are working on tourism in different ways to promote that. I think it's continuing to build on the great foundation they have and using lots of different ways to reach people. So I mentioned earlier, not just social media and through sales channels, our city ticket offices, but also all of our partners that can help us to help them promote the destination overall. So I would say continue building on that great foundation and continue sharing all of the great attributes and reasons to travel to Guam that there are.
So the future looks bright here for tourism. What do you think?
I think the future looks very bright. It's been very strong, and we're really excited about it.
All right. Doreen Burse is the Senior Vice President of Worldwide. I'm just having a hard time with that worldwide word. Worldwide Sales for United Airlines. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
It's been great spending time with you. Take care.
Thank you very much. I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next week on The Hub.